Hey everybody, what's up? Welcome to Office Hours. Happy Thursday. Good to see some familiar faces here. We got people rolling in. So just wanted to say hello and welcome again to another weekly coaching session. Forgive me if I cough every now and then. I find this winter I am a little down on luck in terms of catching colds. I seem to be catching them like, I don't know, I need a metaphor. I'm catching a lot of them. Probably the kids bringing it home from school. But anyway, yeah, so if I have to hack off to the side like that, forgive me. I actually called somebody today, and I think I might have screwed up my a potential sales call because I called somebody and it was on their voicemail, and the first thing I did when it was like, leave a message after the beep, beep, I was like, anytime I tried talking, I was just coughing. So they're like, nah, this is a hack job. I'm not calling this guy back. So seriously, it is what it is, folks. All right, let's have a party. Brandy, Matthew, Larry, Christopher, good to see you guys. Everybody else, anybody else who's here listening, watching in, just pipe up. Let me know you're here. Say hi. And we're going to have a great time. Popping open the chat here just so I can see everybody's comments. All right. Hold up. Sweet. So it's been a week now using Shift. And so far, I'm a fan. I had to restructure my workflow a little bit because I'm used to having a pretty chaotic workflow, I guess, with screens and tabs and multiple browsers and apps and craziness, and I'm good at switching back and forth. Yeah, I realized that maybe my old workflow is pretty crazy and all over the place. So I'm using Shift now, and I'm liking it. I'm all in one window. I can see everything in one place. It's easy to swap around and go through. So hopefully it stays that way and I keep productive. Last week, real quick, we had a tech glitch at the end of the call. By the last 3 minutes, the feed stopped coming through. So hopefully that doesn't happen this time because that is not cool. I don't get you to come to these calls so that you can experience tech glitches, but it is what it is, right? Say la vie. All right, Matthew, hack job, hacking up a lung. Was that a pun? Kind of. It was kind of like an accidental pun. Darcy, good to see you. Christopher, question. Last week you mentioned that you hired a team from Europe to edit your videos. How did you find them? How did you work with them? Great question. We're going to add that to the queue right away here, Christopher, and I'm going to get right to that question. Harold's, hey everyone, I'm cleaning my room so that I can set a small office here, sorting through a few boxes. Hey Harold, you're always busy doing something. No captions. Wonder if I can change that. Odd. Sorry about that, Harold. Not sure why that happened. We'll make sure they're on next time and make sure to watch the replay. All right. All right. So yeah, here we go. I'm going to pull up my Trello board and see what we got going on. Matthew had a question in the Mastermind this week saying, freebie feedback. I just completed my version 1 of Adobe XD wireframing toolkit. If any of you are using XD, I'd love to hear your thoughts. Would you use this? Is it useful? What's missing? And he shot over a Dropbox link with some Adobe XD templates and such. I'm just trying to pull it open. I'm not sure it's coming through for me. I'm gonna try and open that link in a browser. See if I can see it. Now, to be fair, I don't have Adobe XD. I haven't used it. I know maybe for some of you, you're like, what, Brad, you haven't used Adobe XD? I don't use it. Not because I think it's bad. I just haven't found a need for anything outside of my current workflow and maybe my current, client base and work and, my customers and students. I just haven't really found a need for it. So for me, coming from my perspective, I'm probably not going to be able to give good feedback on it. Also because I don't think I can even open it, and it's an XD file. So anybody here who has Adobe XD or is like an Adobe XD person, make sure you check out in the Mastermind there Matthew's question about Adobe XD and his wireframing toolkit to see if it would be a good, I'm assuming lead magnet or offering of some sort. Feel free to chime in on that, Matthew, just so we kind of know what's up with that. John says Adobe XD is pretty good. Prefer Figma and InVision. Okay. So okay, I get it. I actually really like InVision. So I haven't used Adobe XD, but InVision for me has been pretty fun. John, what are your thoughts on practical steps of networking in person with the intent of building relationships versus just shooting for the sale in a B2B context? Okay. John, I'm going to get to John's question here. I see Matthew just jumped in and said, yeah, you can't preview it in the browser. Unfortunately, I'll be working on preview images. Okay, cool. Lead magnet indeed. All right, cool. Got some context. Make sure you guys check it out. And we would like to see, at least I'd like to see the, kind of preview images just to see what's going on. Okay. Let's see. All right. John, yeah. So what are your thoughts and practical steps of networking in person with the intent of building relationships versus just shooting for the sale? Okay. So what I want to know, I'm going to run with this, but I want to know, John, while you're here, I want some clarification on one of these. So networking with the intent of building relationships. So is it networking with the intent of building relationships with really the intent of doing business? Or is it just to connect and have like a network of people that you can reach out to, get in touch with, maybe send work to, and then ideally have the rule of reciprocity kick in at some point where they send you work or send you referrals and things like that? Is that what you mean by that variation of your question? And they said versus just shooting for the sale in a B2B context. While you come up with your response to that question, because I know there's a delay in the live feed, I'm going to say that both of these are important. I don't think that they're mutually exclusive. I think that they're both important stages. Having a network and connecting with people within your industry, people who are potential clients, people who are potential collaborators, people who are potential partners, people who are potential investors. Whatever angle you want to take, people, collaborators, just people you can send work to, things like that. That's important, John Babbo the second. So if I'm recalling, the second was to legitimately just have connections. Okay. Both are important. I think that networking in person and just genuinely connecting is one thing and important, because doing it all alone and having nobody to, when you have a connection network, when you have a network of where people know who you are and things like that, that can be beneficial. I know that I've worked with people, I've collaborated with people, I've just shouted somebody out, or I've sent my customers or audience or whatever a resource or a link of somebody else, and sometimes they'll pay that in kind and send things back. I know that connecting and networking is an important thing, but I don't think it's like vital for just having relationships, because at the bottom line of you building your business is you need to be able to be profitable and sustainable. And part of profitability and sustainability is having a network and having people, because one, maybe having that, just genuinely building relationships with people, the benefit maybe is not directly going to get you revenue. And then maybe nor should it be when you're building relationships in that context. But in some way, it kind of does, because you're investing your time, your energy, your resources, your knowledge, your assets, your wisdom, your experience into that community in some way, into that person in some way, giving them some advice, some guidance, saying, you know what, I know somebody who could help you out with that. I'm going to hook you guys up. Here's this person's phone number. You're investing in it in some way, not just so you can have happy feelings and feel like, hey, yay, I'm important. It's for a purpose, to say like, my investing in this area, in my energy, investing my energy, my time, my resources, my money, if you're going to like conferences and meetups and networking events, the point of it is, to build relationships and to surround yourself with other like-minded people. But also at the end of the day, it's so that you can support your efforts in growing your business. So it might not have a direct connection to growing your business, but it has an indirect connection. So what am I saying there? Having people who you are in connection with, being a connector, being somebody who knows people or people know, that's fine. That's, totally fine. I don't think there's anything bad with that. And I think that's okay. And then, now let's create a separation. So you have that end of things, and then you have the other end of things, shooting for the sale in B2B context. There's nothing wrong with that either. Both have their places. Where I think it gets messy and where I think it gets annoying, where I think people can see right through it, or people feel used, people feel sleazy. Tell me if you agree. Anybody here, tell me if you agree. If you were approached by somebody, say on LinkedIn, if you were at a conference and some really friendly person, I know this has happened to me multiple times. I think I'm a pretty approachable person, like at an event or things like that. I'm happy, I'm dancing, I'm doing something silly, I'm doing karaoke. I don't know, like I'm just being, me. And I'm pretty approachable. And so I've had this. And so tell me if you agree with this. If you have somebody come up to you and they're super friendly, they're like, oh, who are you? What's your name? Oh, and they're really outgoing, really charismatic. And I was like, oh, it's so great to meet you. It's like, you look great. This is awesome. You're having a great time. You're loving the event. The camera's about to die. Let me just switch my camera. And they'll say these things and they'll connect with you. And then, you feel good. You feel like, hey, this person actually seems interested genuinely in who I am. They say, oh, tell me about your business. Tell me all about it. Oh, cool. That's so great. And then, they play this, like, oh, I just want to connect with you. That's all. I have no ulterior motive. And they play this like long game of being your friend. And then ultimately you realize, like, a week down the line, maybe if they're really playing the long game, like 6 months down the line, it's really just a way of being like, you know what? I was thinking about you, Brad. You were on my mind. I couldn't sleep last night. I was like, my head was on my pillow and I was just thinking about Brad. And I was like, you know what? Brad could really use my help in my, with what it is I have to offer. So, Brad, I got something, I'm going to put something together for you. And we could really help you with that problem you've been telling me about and opening up about over the last 6 months. We can do that. There's just like this long game sales process. And I just think that's just absolute crap. It's just like, there's no integrity in that. Like, when you need to sell, be a salesperson. And when you need to build relationships, be someone who's connecting. So I like to be straight up. I try my best. I know I've been doing lots of sales and consulting calls lately, and there's a lot of sales happening. So I get to do like this head first, like sales, experiment and this sales approach. Maybe not experiment. It's just an actual strategy, doing sales calls. But what's interesting is when you just try and be like just the friend, it's like, but because the point of the call is to, at the end of it, be like, hey, if you're a good fit and we can help you out, that's the point. But when you're trying this hybrid middle approach of like, hey, I'm going to just add value. We're just going to be like really good friends and we're going to connect and it's going to be lots of, love and good vibes. And then maybe, you'll just like eventually consider thinking about buying my thing and I'll just like kind of pepper it in there and just like, doot. No, it's stupid. When you need to sell something, be like, hey, here's what this is. That's what I say on my calls. I say, hey, here's what it is, just so you know up front. I'm going to talk to you, ask you a bunch of questions. The point of this is for me to see if we're going to be a good fit to work together. At the end of this, if I feel based on our conversation, if we're a good fit, I'm going to offer you a spot to work with me, either as a coaching client to join the course or for us to build out your marketing. That's the point. That's the point of this. Okay. Does that sound fair? Like, just so we're out of the gate. It costs money too, by the way. But I legitimately want to talk on the phone to figure out who you are, what's going on, and how we can help you out. So it's like a sales call. I'm not pretending to be a friend. I'm not, I will be friendly, and I consider everybody here like professional colleagues of mine, people who with whom I work with or connect with or help, my clients. Like, I'm going to be friendly. I'm not going to be an absolute arsehole. But like, know your role of what you're trying to do. So when you're trying to connect with somebody like on LinkedIn and you're doing like an organic outreach, Don't just be that person who's like, hey, John, you know what, man? Like, you're looking good. You're doing that dance thing. And it's like, it's super good, man. Like, I love dancing too. One time I danced and it was so great. Like, hey, rapport, right? We're doing the rapport thing. Cool, man. Yeah, just, hey, you know what? Oh, by the way, P.S., before you go, doing some dance stuff, just real quick, it popped into my mind. I had no ulterior motive, I swear. But you know what? Here, let's send you over to this sales page. I put a special page together that literally took me a week to put together. So I've been pre-thinking about this. And then maybe you'll buy that thing. But really, no, we're just trying to be friends here. No, like, come on, cut the crap. Connect with someone genuinely. If your intent is to build relationships, and be honest. Like, hey, I want to connect with other people, like-minded people in the industry, in the area, because, hey, you know what? Maybe if I send you something, the rule of reciprocity is going to kick in, and you're going to think of me because I want to be legitimately helpful to you. But I don't want to be alone in this, and so it's nice to have somebody else around. Thing one, roll one, roll two. Hey, guess what? This is a sales call, so I don't want to waste your time. I'm going to be genuine, honest, friendly. But at the end of the day, I want to know if we're going to be able to work together. Okay. Boom. Sales call, relationships like builder. Don't be this like middle hybrid, like yucky, I'm your friend, but I'm going to kind of just like feel my way into your life and then eventually sell you through blah. I think that's that's the new sleazy salesman. I get like high pressure sales tactics and stuff, turn people off. But I think what more so now is turning people off, or like the new version of this, like this, the snake oil salesman, if you want to use that phrase, is like this sneaky, I'm trying to add value. I'm going to add value to your life, man. And that's what I'm going to do. It's just we're going to be friends. It's going to be real good vibes. We're going to be on a first name. Like we're going to be bros. But hey, you know what? Oh, by the way, I was just thinking you should buy my thing. No, like if you want to buy, so you got to be straight up. So that's what I think. What do we got here? John, true, I agree. Excuse me. Hey, Rebecca or Reeb. Can we call you Reeb? Because like that's what your username keeps coming up as, Reeb. So true. Hi, by the way. Is it Rebecca or Reeb? What can we call you? Reeb or Rebecca. Name pending of how we should address you. Is new. Oh, so welcome aboard. Glad to have you here on our first office hours since you've joined up. So glad to have you here. And it was a pleasure chatting with you on the phone just like last week. And a lot of people here, talk to me on the phone, like especially all of our new people, they talked to me on the phone and we had a discussion, talked about their business, see how I can help, let them know about what this is. And then I offered them a spot. That's how it works, right? And now we can get that part out of the way and then we can actually connect. There's no like, hey, okay, I got you here and I want to help you now. So it's great. Reeb is fine. Cool. I like Reeb. Me too. Sweet. John, yeah, I totally agree. Being clear on intent versus being sleazy. Yes. Hey, what is this? Frame the conversation. Hey, good to meet you. Hey, my name is Brad. This is what I do. You probably, experience this all the time where someone's going to come up, they're trying to be your friend, but they're faking it because they just want to sell you something 2 months later. I don't care. I don't care about that. I wrote a book and I think you would like it because you were talking in that conversation over there about struggling with depression. I actually write about depression. Here's my book. Or like, be straight up. Hey, you know what? Like you're a business person. I'm a business person. You came here with a specific problem and I came here with a specific solution. Seems like we'd be like a puzzle piece fit. Want to have a chat? No? Are you sure? Boom, 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 boom. Okay, good. We're good. Or okay, we're going to move on. All right. Let's see. So I like that. That was a good, but you said, what are your thoughts on practical steps? I never gave you practical steps there, John. I kind of just differentiated and create some hard lines between the two. Practical steps of networking in person. If you are just building relationships, just like be like a cool ass John. I mean, like you're probably like a total hoot to be around at like a conference or like a networking party or something like that. Just like, be you. Don't try and like, oh, I see it all the time. It's so yucky and it makes me feel so weird. When you go to conferences, I don't like conferences for this. You dress up, you put your thing, you put your nice, you button it down just a little bit, you get a tan, or I don't know, just whatever. And then you like got your bag and you're trying to look like, you're trying to look like something. And then you just like kind of just schmooze and blah. I'm like the kind of guy who just like, I don't care about that. there's a karaoke party over there. I'm going to the karaoke party. Oh, we're going to like tacos on the street there. I'm going to tacos on the street. Like, oh, Brad, but you should be networking and you should be building, massive value and connections and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, well, if anyone wants to come for some tacos, I'm over here. And then we could just like, shoot the breeze. Okay. It's like, or I'm over here doing karaoke, right? Like, it's just be you. So be genuinely building connections. And you can see it when you just go and you're kind of connect with someone and someone's got that, like they're turned into a robot version of themselves. And they're like, hey, yeah, this is what I do. And I'm impressive. I'm going to throw numbers at you. I'm going to name drop. Oh, I saw this person and blah, 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 blah. I don't care. I don't know. I mean, maybe you're talking to the wrong person about networking, but I don't know. Use common sense. I mean, when you're networking, do you like connecting with fake robot shells of the versions of humans? Or do you like talking to the genuine person who's like a real living, breathing creature who has like problems? It's just way cooler. Talents. Like, what? You dance, man? Okay, where's the near? Okay, I want to get better at doing my Latin dance. Take me. Let's go. Let's go do it. Where are we going? Where are we going, man? Be that, right? That's for just like genuine practical steps of connecting with people at like networking and stuff. And that's going to have a way bigger effect. Like, oh, you're the dancer guy, and I keep saying you're the dancer guy because I know that about you, John. But like anything, like me, like, oh, you're the guy who did the karaoke thing, or are you the guy who did the backflip, or, you're the girl who like, saved the day when this happened. So it's like, that's going to shine through versus like this fake version where you're supposed to do the right things at a conference and connect and hand out the business card and be like, hey, how can I add value to your life? This is BS. So that's that. And then there's just shooting for the sale in B2B. That's called strategy. Sales is a strategy, is a technique. There's understanding the pain of the person, the problem, and understanding if you can, getting the right questions and understanding the cost of them doing nothing, so that you can juxtapose that with the cost of them doing something with you. Hey, you have a problem. I have a solution to it. We got to do the song and dance here. It's a dance where you got to try and tiptoe a little bit, but you got to carry it a little bit. You got to be the one in control, but also making them feel like they're in control of, it's a dance. It's literally, John, like Latin dancing with like a tuxedo on, or I don't know, something. Like a floral Hawaiian shirt on. I don't know, man. Just like sales is like a dance, is a strategy. You can't just be like, hey, you know what? I'm a Latin dancer, man. Just like put on some Dirty Dancing and I'm gonna do the Patrick Swayze, whatever that even means. It's like being like, you know what? Sales, all it is just put on like a yacht in the background and call me Jordan Belfort. It doesn't work that way. You got to learn it. You got to practice it. You got to do it. You got to talk to people and that's something I could tell you I've been like head first in for the last few months now, like really getting into sales and understanding it from like a head first thing, talking to people on the phone and like having people call me like a total shit scammer. And like going, trying to figure out, okay, why did that happen? Which by the way, Hafsa, I really appreciate, I know that Hafsa's not here right now, but she opened up last week about somebody saying she's too young to like be an author, blah, 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 a bunch of BS. And so we talked to her about it and shared my experience about somebody literally just like talking to me on the phone, being really genuine, doing like the friendly thing and like having a really good connection. And then I was like, this is going to be a great, exciting person to have on board. And the first thing they did when they got off the phone was text me and just a cascading waterfall of cuss words, saying I'm going to tell all my friends you're a shitty scammer and this, that, and the other thing. And it was like my stomach just like dropped and it was just, I felt sick. It was a good call. And so it's like my point to this is sales is a dance. And so when you're shooting for the sale in B2B, you can do it wrong. Or you could do it right. And so it's brush up on it, brush up on the technique, brush up on how it works, and then get into it and see what works and what doesn't. Understanding the problem, getting the right prospect on the phone or in an email or at a meeting, understanding the problem, diagnosing the problem, and then prescribing a solution of yours, whether it's your product, your service, some customized variation of it, your software, and anchoring the price based on the value of what they get on the outcome versus selling your skills versus just having a price tag on your commodity. If it's something valuable, then they need to understand the value. And if they say I need to think about it, or it's not a good time for me, it's just their way of saying, I don't see the value in this. You haven't communicated the value. I don't actually have this problem, which I don't know why I was on this phone call in the first place, which is your problem for screening. You didn't screen right. But if you get on the phone, someone who's actually legitimately interested, saying, you know what, I need to think about it. Most times that just means I want to say no, but I don't want to hurt your feelings, or I feel awkward. And so, or I don't see the value. You're asking $500, you're asking $5,000, you're asking $20,000, but I don't see the value. I just see a price tag. Whereas if you say, I can transform your marriage, I can prevent you from this happening, I can take you out of that situation. Our software is going to solve this problem entirely for you. How much does it cost for you to not do this? How much in missed income are you missing every month by not doing this? Looks like about $20,000 a year. Well, guess what? Our program or our software or our services or our application, whatever it is $20,000. And so, yeah, it seems like a big deal. And it is a big deal. It's a lot of work for us to fix that problem in your business, but you're going to pay for it just by us being a part of it, not including the profit on top of that. So what do you say? Are we in or are we out? You need time to think about it. Okay. What questions do you have? You just said that you had this problem. What else do you need to think about? That's selling. That's sales. It's just being straightforward and honest. When you frame the conversation as not just being a friend, but being a friendly person who's trying to figure out how you can help them by offering a solution or not, then there's no like misunderstanding. Like, oh, I thought we were just having a friend call, man. Anyway, I'm kind of in a weird mood right now. Thanks, John. Good question. I like it. Alea. I miss Patrick. Who's Patrick? Oh, don't be an Eddie Haskell. Are we getting? Oh, okay. I see. Okay. Unless I totally missed something and there's something happening or it's over my head. John, again, second question would be, what are your thoughts on practical habits for content creation and shipping? Specifically, the key day-to-day things that a business owner should do but don't. Tell me about that. What do you mean by that, John? What are the key day-to-day things that a business owner should do? Patrick Swayze. Thanks, Matthew. I had the time of my life. Getting weird, guys. Getting weird. Wait, hold up. Hold on. I'm going to try something here. I should have done this. Well, every time I make a bad joke. Oh, man, this is good. Okay. John, tell me, what do you mean? What do you mean practical? I'm waiting for your answer to come in. We got the delay. You're probably going to answer it right away, and I'll jump into it. So practical habits for content creation and shipping. Shipping, I'm assuming you mean shipping. Based on your question, I'm assuming you mean shipping content. And I've got some opinions on that. Or do you mean like shipping a product or shipping a service or shipping a sales call? I'd like to know. Specifically, the key day-to-day things that a business owner should do but don't. Okay, here are the key day-to-day things that a business owner should do but don't. Matthew Pierce, you never saw. I do. It's new in Ecamm. I have 7 new sounds. Oh, these office hours could have been, they really could have been so lit. That's for sure. Okay, this is good. This is going to go off the rails really fast. Okay, Reeb, office hours, by the way, is a party. I want to make sure I get all your questions answered and we give you your coaching and your training. Don't worry. It's not just like a fun party zone. But I want to make it so that it's interesting for you to come back every week so that you can always get your questions answered. And by the way, you're new here, so I want to hear your questions too. Anything that's going on. Okay. John, I don't know if John's even here anymore. But here are my thoughts. Practical habits of content creation and shipping. So content creation here. Okay. I'm going to share my screen. So I'm going to take a note here. So we got content creation, shipping, and then practical things. So I'm going to open up my Envision here. My vision board. While you're waiting, you get to listen to this. This is my transition music. All right. That was cool. Shift. Are we seeing shift? There we go. Cool. Practical things. Okay. So content creation. So you had a question about content and practical, day-to-day things. Day to day and shipping. Okay. So regarding content, this is what I think. A lot of people use the content marketing smokescreen as exactly that, a way to actually not do what they should be doing. There are people out there who make a good living and seem to be like doing well with content. You've got the big bloggers out there, you've got the big content machines out there who are like doing daily content and 18 versions of that daily content and podcasts and vlogs and blogs and, live streams and Twitch streams. And they've got like everything on Instagram stories, I don't even know anymore. I don't even keep up to it anymore. And at one point I thought that's what you needed to do, to be everywhere at all times, to be this like omnipresent content marketing, like beast of a machine explosion, in order to be successful. Because when you see somebody who's blogging all the time and everybody loves them and they're so popular and there's fans and there's people who are going crazy, and they're making what seems to be good money, or they post their income statements and stuff, which everybody seems to do nowadays. It's just like this. Like, yeah, there's some people who've made a good go of it creating content, but here's the thing. At one point when you're the person who's like, I'm going to create super valuable content. So this is going to be called content. Okay. And then someone else is like, hey, I saw what this person did. I want to create content too. And then, oh, wow. It's okay. So now there's more supply of content. And then everybody starts creating content. Because everybody's like, I got to be the content guy. Like, I'm going to be the number one blogging girl. I'm going to be the number one lifestyle person. I'm going to blog. Content. And so everybody's producing this content, right? And then, just like the general market or the market is looking at this and going, what? I am so confused. I can access anything that I want, but I don't know what to do with it. And I'm just going to go with the biggest, loudest version of it. I don't know. And I'm just going to do more content. And then after taking in that content, I think about it. And then how do I apply it? Well, I just do more content. I read more content. I listen to more content. I just watch more content. I consume, and I keep going. And then it just becomes something like this. And that's like the content machine. And it's just a mess. And so as entrepreneurs end up thinking, okay, well, if this person is producing content and they're seeing results, or they're getting most of the market share of content readership or whatever, then I must do that as well. So I'm going to copy them, and I'm going to basically just do the same thing as them, but with my own, like, with a yellow color and, slightly varying degree of it. And it's playing the wrong game entirely, thinking that content is your business. Unless you're Gary Vaynerchuk or like Pat Flynn, and God bless them both, like, it's just building a business around content. It's just, there's enough out there already. There's already enough content out there. Unless you're going to find some super uber niche, crazy, weird, specific thing that nobody literally talks about, but there's like this really hot market of people being underserved, then giving them some information to get them into the next step of your funnel is going to be more effective. But when you're just like giving general advice to a general population like everybody else does, like this, then it's not going to work out for you. So you don't need to ship every day. So back to this, like, what about shipping? I need to ship every day. If you're talking about shipping this every day, then don't. It's going to be an absolute waste of your time, and nobody's going to listen, nobody's going to read, and it's not going to matter. And it's going to make you look bad, because when John posts about daily whatever that nobody cares about because it's generic, then it's going to look bad on you. Your potential clients who look at those posts and go, nobody's looking at that. 1 like, 40 followers. When you play that game and you're up against like the beast who got in there early and creates that content and has like 100% of the eyes, then you're just going to look like this, right? So what do you do instead? So it's not about creating a content treadmill and a shipping machine. That's total BS. That's the hustle grind. And don't get me wrong, I appreciate a lot of what Gary Vaynerchuk is trying. This isn't like a dig or anything like that. The guy is very successful, and I think he's helped a lot of people tremendously. But he's also, his words and his message and his mission is being tremendously skewed. And I don't know, I've never met him. I mean, I've seen him in person, but everybody was lining up to get selfies. And I refused to play that game. People confuse his message and turn it into, okay, I need to be Gary V. I need to have a company with my last name, media. So Pierce Media, Needham Media, Balboa Media. And I'm going to do what Gary V does. And I'm going to post, I'm going to hustle, I'm going to grind. I got the grind. I put my teeth to the grindstone. The only person who put their nose to the grindstone was your mom and your dad and your grandparents. My parents literally said that when they come home from work. We go, Dad, how's work today? And you go, oh, another day, another $1. And my mom would come home and go, whoo, I got to get out of my scrubs. Have my nose to the grindstone today. That was literally hustling. This BS that people are doing now, like being on friggin' Instagram, posting stuff and saying it's like adding value and taking massive action, it's BS. It's absolute crap. It's this right here. And I don't like it. I once thought I did, and I realized it's a mess. And I don't like it. So now, practical tips, okay? Practical tips for your content and shipping. Content, yes, can be a good thing. So let's go back to this, okay? Practical day-to-day content and shipping. If this is what it is, then you can just scrap it. It's not going to be a good idea. But actual strategies, okay? So let's go down here. How do you use content? So let's look at this. So we got 3 things here. This is going to be your market. Excuse me. This is going to be the problem that said market experiences. So right here. And then this right here is your solution. So this overlap right here, that right there, is your niche. That's what your business is built around. So you have a market. They struggle with something, and then you have a solution. If you don't have a solution and you just have a market that's being underserved, or somebody else is solving their problem. If you find a pocket with a viable market, big painful problem, and you can solve it with your product, services, solutions, offers, apps, tools, guidance, whatever it is, that's a good market. That's a good niche. This is your niche right here. That's a niche. Okay? Okay. Now, where does content come in? A lot of people think that their business is built around content, but as you can see, it's not. Because what is this doing? It's not solving problems. It's not addressing problems. It's just giving information. Nobody needs information. All the information's been put out there. So consider your work done. All the information is out there, and now you have a whole bunch of people who are confused and no better off than the 18,000 blog posts earlier, okay? So what you do is you define your market, the problem, and the solution, and then how do you get these people in front of this? Well, this is where marketing comes in. So this is your marketing. Let's just say marketing. Okay? Cha-ching. This is marketing. What is marketing? It is getting people, so these people, not everybody, but these people, in front of your solution. The way that you get those people in front of your solution is through marketing. So you can have various ways of marketing. So this is like content, okay? This is like networking. This is like ads. This is SEO. This is another way. This is another way. And then each of those has their own ways of doing it. And some of them are going to be more effective than others. For some people, the ad portion is going to be much bigger. For other people, the content portion is going to be much bigger. And so you find your marketing strategy that gets these people, your market, in front of your solution. The way that they're going to resonate with you is by you talking about this, the problem. So in your marketing, you say, hey, are you so-and-so struggling with this? Great. Here, I got a free book. I've got a webinar. Jump on a call with me and we'll talk it out and we'll figure out if we can solve the problem for you. The bigger the problem, the more urgent they need the solution. If it's a small problem and it's just like something they can do themselves, scratch their own itch per se, then your solution is going to be low value, low ticket, and going to be hard to sell. High value, high ticket solutions to big, painful, hairy, disgusting, ouchy problems like, business failure, potential business failure, losing out to competition, and this is in the business industry. Now, if you're talking about health, you got wellness, you got obesity, divorce, anxiety, depression, overeating, all these sorts of things. You go into the spiritual well-being, you got things like that. So here's the thing. The bigger the problem, the more valuable the solution if you can actually position yourself properly. So marketing is where content comes in. So what do you need to do? What are the practical things you need to do? First of all, know what the hell this is. Okay? Know who in the world your market is, what their problem is, and their solution. Find that out. Spend more time on this than you realize you should. You're going to hear people go, you know what? Screw that part. You need to just crush it. Daily grind, man. Grind out some content. No, you're going to waste your time and you're going to give up because it sucks. And it's not going to work. Whereas if you just know who your market is, what the problem is, and your solution, then it's a matter of marketing. Okay? And then after marketing, what happens after marketing? So this is step one right here. Forgive the cat scratches, but bear with me. So number one is figuring out your positioning. Okay? Why do you think positioning is at like the top of what's in the launch training program? In fact, the first step 0, is like your mindset. Why is that? Because a lot of people don't believe they can do it. And if you don't believe you can do it, then there's no point in even going to step 1. So get your head in the game. Okay, that's step 0. Step 1 is finding out who in the world you are serving and why. Okay, that's going to cascade into everything else you do. You can't skip this step. Unfortunately, you can't. So, and it's a painful, difficult section. I promise it's going to be hard. And some people know and other people don't. Okay. So figure it out. And that's why I put that together. Now, step number 2 is the marketing. Okay. This is your marketing, all the strategies for marketing, getting people into your marketing machine. So all this is to get people into your marketing funnel, right? This is emails, right? And you know about the marketing machine because you have access to module 6 if you're a launch customer or launch client. Okay. So, and that marketing machine is meant to be a part of your whole marketing asset, which then what is the next step? Step number 3 is sales. Okay. Sales. And what do you do on sales? You you take these people who now you have in your list, your prospects, your calls, and boom, you sell them. This is what it is about. It's a necessary step. Hate it all you want. In fact, the more you hate it, the harder it's going to be for you. Learn to like it. Find out the proper way of selling. Be okay with it. You should be able to sell yourself. You should be able to sell your services. You do it every single day. You're selling yourself, that is. Convincing other people that you are worth their time or energy. And in this case, in business, it's convincing your ideal market with this problem that your solutions and you delivering that solution is going to be worthwhile. And you get access to them by marketing. So you market, then you sell to them. And then after sales, what happens? Step number 4 is delivery. Your operations. Doing the thing you promised. Giving them an outcome that is more valuable than the price they paid. So if the outcome, if the price they paid was $5,000, which I'd like to see many of you here charging as an average for your services or products, the outcome needs to be worth more than $5,000. So what if it's 10,000? Maybe it's 100,000 over the course of 1 year. Something like that. Okay. So that's what you need to be doing daily. Your practical application is get your head in the game. Okay. Keep that dialed in. Keep your mind healthy and your body. Figure this out. Once you figure that out, then you don't have to keep coming back to it. You can refine certain things as you do sales calls and marketing and go, okay, my audience is a little bit different than I thought. You can tweak this and refine it as you go. Daily is marketing, and that's not content and doing content all the time. It's to get people into your funnel so that you can get on calls. If you can get on a call or two every single week and close 20% of those, and let's say you do like 10 calls a month divided by, or 20%, so that's 2 sales a month, and this is just kind of lower numbers, and your average sale is 5,000. Well, you just made yourself $10,000 a month. You have a $120,000 a year business. You can get that up and running within a few weeks. That's just like the practical matter of the situation. So spending years doing the content thing, doing this, is going to be a waste of your time. Whereas you could spend a few weeks getting this stuff dialed in, your mindset, your niche, and then marketing. That's why the marketing machine is in place, to show you. I mean, there's a lot to it. And I've even been considering, actually, I have somebody who's interested, but I'm going to be considering opening up a couple spots. So consider this as well, where I going to be taking my own advice, where with the course, this is kind of more of do-it-yourself approach. So with the course, you kind of have think about this for your own offerings too. There's do it yourself, there's done with you, and there's done for you. Do it yourself is mass market. It's usually priced lower ticket in relation to your higher ticket, big, offering. So, this could be like your course, your product, your book, your software, something that's more hands-off and that your customer does themselves. Okay. I'm going to say low ticket. Done with you is like, where you coach them through it. You're the consultant, you're giving guidance and giving them the roadmap to solve their own problem, but you're there as kind of like their go-to person to make sure that they're taken care of. And that is going to be like your coaching, consulting, and that is going to be more medium ticket. And then done for you is high ticket. Why? Because this requires more and more of just you or your team or something. And so you do it yourself. So do it yourself, done with you, done for you. And so course, coaching, service, essentially. Think about that. So that's why I say start with a service, because you can build this, understand what's working, how you can help your customers, then expand your done for you into a done with you, where you can be more, hands-on, but still like a bit more leveraged. And then from your done with you, you do it yourself, like a book, a course, a product, a seminar, things like that. Okay. And so back to my original thought is marketing is a huge deal. And so I'm starting to recognize that with a lot of my customers and students and clients. They're like, what? This is a lot of work, and I'm not that good at this part. I see how you're doing it. You're providing the templates, but I'm overwhelmed at even applying just that. So I'm actually considering offering a done for you service, which I haven't done for a while, outside of my own client work where I do done for you marketing. So I'm considering that. And if you want more information about that, don't hesitate to send me a message and we can just talk about that. I'm still considering this. I don't have anything totally solid in place yet. So that's the marketing part. Daily practical stuff, doing what you're learning in the course and applying it. So you can get sales calls. If you can get daily sales calls, goodness gracious, you're good to go. You're on fire. Then you just refine your sales. Okay. Delivery. This is just doing your service, delivering your service. And this is where so many freelancers get hung up as well. They get a client, boom. So they have a client, and then they work with that client one-on-one, and that's it. Unless that client is like high ticket, $5,000 to $10,000, and you're getting those once a month, like you're going to tie yourself up and be stuck in service debt really fast. So you need to leverage yourself. So you need to get a team member. So do something where you have a project manager or assistant, subcontractor, staff, team member, and they manage your clients. Okay? This is client, client, client. While you, this one, manage them. Steer the ship, not swab the deck. Okay, is this making sense? I'm kind of doing some crazy chicken scratches here, but you can kind of see what I'm talking. Here's my brain. Okay, that's your daily stuff. Okay, let me see what we got here. Harold, save some money, going to Starbucks, eat an $8 cheeseburger. So I'm staying home to save money. I need to eat up a table, set up a table, put my laptop on. I need to buy a folding table. Daily Starbucks, you're gonna spend a lot of money. Unless you're making a good amount simply by being there, then it might not be worth it. But also, it's up to you. John, this makes a lot of sense. So yes, your content creation and shipping only in the context and in the light of you marketing your services to your target market with a specific problem. So you can do sales. So you can do sales emails, sales calls, sales meetings, get enough of those rolling in so that you can hire a sales representative to also do some of your sales calls or all of your sales calls if you're not a huge fan of sales. And then you do the service delivery, and you don't even have to do service delivery. You're a business owner. Stop being so attached to your services. So many freelancers come in here, and this isn't like a dig at all. This is just me trying to rework how you think about this whole thing, and it's going to change the game for you. When you're selling your services, you're attached to those services because you are the one delivering that service, and you're like, I'm really good at this service, and I'm really passionate about it. But then you realize that caps out quickly. You can only make $50,000 a year doing that, unless you're really, really good at getting high value clients or you got yourself positioned well, 80,000. But the problem is, you're going to really quickly cap out, burn out. 1 or 2 clients a month, and you're like working hard, hustling to market, hustling to sell, hustling to deliver service. You need to get other people in there helping you. You're a business owner. If you start up a coffee shop, you're not going to be the barista, the person at the till taking orders. You're not going to be the chef cooking sandwiches. You're not going to be the janitor cleaning the floor. You're not going to be the accountant. You're not going to be the lawyer. You're going to be the business owner. Or sometimes the business owner is the one making the coffees because that's the part they love. That's their genius. Like a chef. Like a high Michelin chef, they own the restaurant, they're the owner, but they're in there making sure that the ship is being steered the direction that they are wanting it to go. But other people are cooking it. Other people are putting it together in their way, okay? So that's what you got to do. Stop getting in the weeds. Find your strategy, fill in those puzzle pieces, and they are puzzle pieces. Find that groove, get to work on that, and then start getting sales happening, getting revenue flowing. Don't just sell your service. Don't just sell your skills. Don't just sell your skills. Sell the value of the outcome of the problem you're solving. That's the thing. And that's scary to figure that out. That's why a lot of freelancers don't do it. And that's why a lot of freelancers don't make it. And I don't want to see that. I don't want you guys coming in here and being like, oh, this didn't work for me. I'm trying my best here, but I can only lead a horse to water. And it's hard. It's a lot of work. And sometimes it's easier than other times. Sometimes it takes a long time to figure it out. But it's just the same thing as you can spend all your time hitting the pavement, pounding the pavement, handing out resumes, and just feeling really dejected and trying to be an employee and feeling used because you're working for somebody else who's actually taking a risk. Or you could put your effort into trying to figure out how to help other people's lives be better, make other people's lives better. By solving a problem, a business problem, a health problem, a mental problem, a marketing problem, a sales problem, an automation problem, a software problem, any of it. People are messed up. Everybody's got problems. Everybody has something that they're hung up on. And if one person's struggling with it in a big way, probably at least 1 million other people are too. And you don't need 1 million clients. You need 10 a year paying you 10,000 or something like that. What's that? $100,000 a year. Make sense? Okay. Good question there, John. Love it. And feel free, anybody, just to chime in on that, whatever your thoughts are on that while I'm jibber-jabbering about certain things. All right. Hafsa, should the currency exchange rates be taken into account? Dollar is pretty much dominant currency in the world, but against Pakistani rupees, dollar is pretty strong. So $1 is about 154 rupees. Okay, so I'm going to come right back to this because of the delay. I see responses coming in. I just want to make sure to address the responses before we jump forward. John, I don't mind the hard work. I just want to make sure I'm leaning my effort ladder on the right wall. For sure. Definitely do that. So just make sure you start right. Okay. You got to start yourself right. Don't just like jump into marketing. Cause what are you marketing? What are you even marketing, man? Right? Don't just jump into sales. What are you selling? Unless you're like, your business is sales and you are going to help other entrepreneurs sell. That's a thing too. There are people who have businesses who are like, I'm a sales company. I do sales. You hire me to do your sales because I am an awesome salesperson. There are people like that. Okay. So you got to find, okay, at the nucleus, the market, the problem, and then what solution. And then when you fill in those blanks, they don't always work because you might have a crappy market, a non-viable market with not a lot of people in it. Or like a problem that's not really a problem and you just think it is and you haven't validated it. You're just assuming. Or your solution just totally sucks, which a lot of freelancers, their solutions suck because they just sell services. They sell skills. They go, okay, you know what? Alternative health practitioners. Okay, good market. Struggle with their website. Like, that's not really a problem, but okay, where are you going with this, man? Like, so my solution is HTML. Wait for it. No, it's more like this. So consider that. You can have the pieces filled in, but have it not be right. So you got to find the right sequence. And that's what we're here for. Like, post it in the mastermind, post it in office hours. So you can go like, that's not a good market, man. Or have you validated it? Or have you got some cash flow from that? Have you run ads to your offer? Have you, got something driving traffic to that? Like, what's going on? Or are you just like, no, I'm just thinking, I'm just vibing on it. I got vibes and I'm going to do some content. I'm going to Gary Vee it up. Come on. So, Alea, in this baseline, I want to include how many hours were saved in the month and how their income has increased. Finding out some of my clients. Oh, so Alea, you got a question. Okay, I'm going to get to your question. Sweet. John laughing. Okay, I'm making you laugh. I'm going to keep this stuff going. I'm going to keep that stuff going. Okay, I'm coming to your question there, Alea. I want to get to Hafsa first. So one US dollar is about 154 rupees. So if I charge according to dollar without taking into account the currency and exchange, my services are not affordable for anyone whose currency is the same as mine or similar. If I take into account the exchange rate, I might seem like a commodity to anyone whose currency is either dollar or has a higher exchange rate. Won't be attending live. It's pretty late. Okay, so Hafsa, if you are booking clients in your country or region where they pay similar exchange rate, I mean, I don't know how it works. Like, I don't know if like when you go to the store to buy, let's say bread, like for me, I can get like a cheap loaf of bread for $2 Canadian, which is roughly the same as US, 30%, less or something like that or more. So keep that in mind. Does that mean like, it's like literally 300 rupees for you to buy bread? And is that like totally fine? Like, is that okay? Or you're like, or is like bread 2 rupees? So it's like, that's where I'm a little bit confused. Cause if you need to charge, say, $1,000 for your service, but that actually costs $154,000 rupees, I can see why somebody would balk at that. But I trust that it's not quite the same as that. It's like not apples to apples. So I get a little confused on that, like the cost of living and everything like that. Like, how many rupees is it for a cost of living and how does that relate to, say, US dollars or North American exchange and stuff? Anyway, going on a wormhole, on a tangent here. My thought with this is you're booking clients in your area, then charge them rupees, charge them your currency. So when I'm in Canada, if I have a client, like an actual service client, I'll typically charge them in Canadian dollars. And then if they're in my same province, I mean, you got GST, you got tax and things like that. For a product like, say, this program, course, other courses, those are charged in US dollars a lot of the time because they're going through marketplaces and the marketplace is charging US dollars and yada, 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 yada. Most of my customers are based in the US. So instead of me charging Canadian dollars, I can do US dollars and then the exchange happens in PayPal and then I pay taxes on the Canadian amount and yada, yada, yada. So, I mean, my thought to you is like, probably find a good pool of clients. So if you're working with people in your area and it's not enough to like sustain a living, then it might not be the right target market unless you could develop some sort of like do it yourself, offering that is really leveraged and you can charge like a low ticket and have a higher volume of clients in your area. Or you work with, say, US clients, European clients, like Western European clients, people in like Britain and things like that, where you can charge, say, US dollars and they're not going to balk at it because it's just expected. That's kind of my thought regarding that. Hopefully that was some sort of something valuable for you. Get a little bit of clarity. Okay, Alea. Question, I'm starting to try to find ways to show the value of my services to my client. One of the ways is to create a baseline to reference it in terms of growth. Okay, in this baseline, I want to include how many hours were saved in the month and how their income is increased. Okay, I'm finding that some of my clients are skeptical about revealing their sales and income. Is there a way to ask for this information without overstepping boundaries? Is there any other suggestions on how to create a baseline so they can see value of the service? Okay, good question. When talking about numbers like sales numbers and stuff like that, some people are just cool with sharing that and it's just up to them. But other people want like NDAs, like non-disclosure agreements. Just because, it is maybe personal or it's like private, or their business shouldn't be saying certain numbers. Maybe they're like super high earning and like they can't just have that information be public, or it's like not doing very well at all and they got pride issues, or I don't know. There's lots of different things, but probably saying like, hey, if you want, for your own confidentiality, like I have an NDA so that our conversations are completely confidential. So if if you want to talk about numbers or things like that, I like to get into this stuff so I could practically show you how I can valuably help you and how that works in terms of revenue. You can also do things like, so with your, sometimes telling a person their income, like if you're talking on the phone and you're saying, hey, how much income do you make? They might be like, oh, that's something I don't really want to talk about. But a lot of times people will just put that number in like a form, like a web form when like they're trying to get information or, things like that. So I've seen it done where, in order to do like a call. So I've seen this where, there's a software company who helps you save, lost recurring revenue. And so they have a calculator that says, before you jump on the call, that says, put how much monthly recurring revenue you make and the percentage in which you lose recurring revenue. So failed payments, when people like bounce on their credit cards and they don't pay their next bill. So this company helps people recoup that payment that wasn't made, that failed bounced payment. So what they do is say, what's your recurring revenue and what's the percentage of failed payments? Okay, we help people. In that form, it then says, okay, by working with us in 12 months, we'll save you $100,000. How do we know that? Because we routinely save 18%, I'm just making numbers here, 18% of failed payments. So if your failed payments is $20,000 a year, I'm just, again, spitballing numbers here, and 18% of that is $3,600. So if we can recoup $3,600 a month for you, times that by 12, that's $43,000. So to hire our team, it's $30,000. And how can we justify that? Because we're going to save you $43,000 at least every single year. So it's a no-brainer. What do you say? Versus being on the call, and then they might be like, hey, by the way, how much money do you make? They might be like, whoa, this is really personal and intimate, and I don't want to tell you that. Whereas if you have like kind of a pre-screening questionnaire saying like, okay, this is confidential. You agreed to this terms and services. I want to know this. How much time do you spend on this? And what's your, average income or your average monthly revenue or blah, 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 blah. Do some math on that with like a type form or, gravity forms or whatever you want to do to make it dynamic and say, we can save you this much, and you could do that before the call, or you could do that once you book the call, do like a pre-call assessment, like form survey, to get them really excited to be on the call. So you might want to have a low barrier of entry for the call, perhaps. And then in the pre-screening, in the pre-call questionnaire, to get more information from the person you've already got their commitment to bit, then you could say, okay, fill these few things out. I need to know for the call, it's going to help us, understand how we can really, really help you and what that's going to look like. And then they could say, okay, my name is so-and-so. My business makes this much a month, or I work this many hours a week on these 3 tasks. And this is, my annual revenue. And then you can then do a dynamic calculation that says, all right, we can save you 20% of that time. And if your hourly rate is this, we're actually going to be adding about $20,000 in estimated revenue per year, just simply by having us do the baseline amount of work, give or take. And then they go, whoa, I got to get on this call. And then you've pre-sold them on the value. So when you get on the call, it's just answering questions and go, all right, so you got the numbers there. Based on what you're saying, I actually think we can do better than that. Or you can go a little generous on your numbers there, but even still, to work with us, it's $2,000 a month. But we're going to be saving you, about $50,000 a year just by giving you this time back and taking these things out so that you can do more sales. What are you good at? I'm good at sales. Can we get you to do more sales calls and we'll handle the delivery and we'll handle the management and the operations and other systems? Like, yeah, okay, we're going to save you about 15 hours a week. Add more to your week because now you have more people working under you and you could do more sales calls and close maybe 5% more. So what does that look like for you? Okay. So Alea says, I like that. Ooh, I like where this is going. It aligns with solving the problem. Yes. Yep. That's where mine is going. Sweet. Sounds like this was on the button. Great question. I really like that question. So that's the same thing with you. I know we talked with Matthew a few weeks back about like, how do you get people to say, fill out like a form, a survey, an application, request for proposal, and find out, how much you can charge the person. So he's like, hey, a free estimate generator. And then they could fill out all the information in type form. You can assign values, do math and calculations and say, okay, if you want to see your estimate, just enter your email. We'll send it straight to your inbox. And then to be honest, and then after that, if you want to talk about it, we'll jump on a call. Right? Matthew, got to run. Thanks. See you there, man. Good to see you here. Catch you later. So yeah, that's a great question. Sorry, Matthew, you had a question. I never really got to it, but I'll answer your question anyway, and you can watch the replay. I know that previously you said follow-up is key, and I agree, but more specifically, have you ever used cold outreach to grow your business? What were your experience? Yes and no. I don't really like cold call. Like I wouldn't just open up the Yellow Pages or phone book and just start calling people. If I wanted to do that, and I knew it was going to be possibly a slightly effective method and worth me paying somebody else to do, I would do that. But if it was going to tarnish my reputation, that might not work. Now, if I was like really trying to hustle and start up a new business and really needed some feedback quickly, then maybe I could do I do cold emails. But even still, I get cold emails. It's a numbers game. Most people are turned off by it. Most people don't even give it the time of day and they see through it. I get cold emails and they'll like they'll say my name wrong, or it'll be like an automatic field that says like subscriber first name. And that's fine. I get it. I mean, my emails are like that too. I write one email with dynamic information and then you get your version of it. It's normal. I get it. But when it's a cold email, I expect at least that cold email to be like slightly personal. Like, hey, Brad, I actually legitimately watched this video, or I did this or did that, I can relate to you in this way, this, that. But I know it's a numbers game. So it's about volume of contact and volume of outreach. For some companies and for some people, that's like it's a valuable method. I don't think I would spend my time doing it. If I needed cold outreach, I'd probably just hire some people. But I also think that I could spend my time and effort other places like ads, other traffic sources, perhaps. But the follow-up is key. So, the thing that I see with, cold outreach, and I get a lot of cold outreach coming to me, is the follow-up. So they'll have like 3 or 4 follow-ups, and I mostly ignore all of them. Unless something comes up that I'm slightly interested. I used to, a few years back, like reply to cold follow-up because I was like, ooh, maybe it's a new business opportunity. It's usually just somebody selling something. And it's a business world. I mean, in this world of business, yeah, you got to sell something. I get it. I'm not like, I do it myself. I do business. So, I'm not like, oh, this person's so yucky. They're selling. They should just give everything for free. Everything should be free. Nah. Okay. No, it's like, that's not how the business market works. Okay. You have a problem, you pay for the solution to the problem. It's kind of how it works. Certain things should be free. Certain things should be discounted. Certain things should be, whatever. I don't want to get into a political discussion here, but you know what I'm saying? But more specifically, I've used cold outreach. So I guess my answer to that, Matthew, is yes, follow-up is key for anything. In terms of me doing cold stuff, I don't really do cold stuff. I do get cold leads, book a call, and then I talk with that person, but they are pre-screened. So they know a bit of information about me. They watched my video. They read my page. They read my information. They might have been subscribed for a long time before that. So we got a little bit of something before that. But I do follow up. Like I will send somebody a call, like, oh, I haven't talked to that person in a while. I got their number here. I'm going to call them. And so in that way, it's cold. But it'd be like, well, who's this again? Oh, it's Brad. Oh, yeah. But I won't just like call a business like, hey, do you need a website? Do you need, a massage or something? I don't know. Yeah. Anyway, that was the last question there on the list from Matthew there. That was a great session. A lot of good questions there in this session. Really appreciate everybody's time here. And if you have any last minute questions here before we go, I'd be happy to answer them right now. Otherwise, I can get going and, I don't know, get a little bit more work done. A couple things I want to say before I go, as I usually like to wrap up with. One, I really appreciate all you being here. I really appreciate your time. I really appreciate your investment in your time, your money, your energy, your resources, that you're being here. I really appreciate it, genuinely. I show up every single week to these calls live so that I can make sure you know that I'm actually invested in your success. And when I get an email from people and I get messages from you guys, and whether it's the Mastermind or in an email or a text, that things are working, that like they got a client or they like tripled their rates or they like sold their business. And I mean, that sort of stuff, I'm like, I get so excited. It gets me on fire to go, okay, this is the right thing. This is working. Because the reality is that sometimes things happen in business and it's just like a little bit, sometimes when you're doing stuff, you get a little bit down on yourself or you have a bad week, so I get those. But it's nice when I see that things are working for my students and my clients. It's really exciting because I'm going all in on this stuff. I want to make sure that things are working for you. Alea says, yes, I'm heading to Disney. That is awesome. Like nearby, because I know it's probably a road trip for you, but yeah, heading to Disney. That's cool. I've never been. But I hear mixed messages from other parents. Take your kids to Disney. Don't take your kids to Disney. And they're both really, really strong opinions. So I'm not sure. I probably will end up going at some point. Appreciate you being here, even though you're sick or under the weather, John. I appreciate that, John. The one benefit of me being sick is I got the radio voice. I can do the deep talking and blah, blah, and that sort of stuff. Sounds nice on the microphone. But yeah, no, I appreciate it. I think this really helped a lot. I just deleted my social accounts I don't really use. Great. Hey, and if you want to do social media, get an assistant to do it for you. Social media marketing is a legit thing, but don't do it yourself. Don't Instagram. Radical, weird marketing advice, I guess. You can still do it, but you never have to do it. I haven't logged into Twitter in like a year, and I'm pretty sure I've tweeted today. I don't know, probably. Facebook. The only Facebook I do now is the ads manager, Facebook ads manager, and I have another account that's not even associated with my private. I don't really do personal Facebook or social anymore. I mean, a little bit, but not really. Definitely not Twitter. Definitely not Instagram, or any of the other things the cool kids are doing nowadays. It's just a waste. Yeah, the Barry White. Alea says 3 hours to Disney. Sweet. That's nothing. That ain't nothing. A drop in the bucket. 3-hour drive for me to go, to the Rocky Mountains. Not even 1.5. It's a great road trip. I love road trips. So I really appreciate you being here. It's so great. Here to help you and serve you and legitimately get you to somewhere where you want to be in your business. So bring your problems, bring your pains, bring the ugly, hairy stuff to the plate. Bring it to the table so we can shape it into something. Because I know everybody here has their own struggles in their business and issues, confidence, sales, their offerings are off point. Marketing's off point. That's why we're here, to make it better. Okay. And so share it in the group, share it in the mastermind, share it with us in messages, join up with somebody, partner up with somebody, don't be shy. You're allowed to be transparent and open here. We have a legitimate interest in your success. That's 100% honest to God's truth. So, Alea is currently on the road trip. And so 1.5 hours of that road trip has been hanging out with Brad and the crew, B-Rad and the Mastermind. Awesome. Really cool. One other thing I wanted to say, tell your friends. If you know anybody, if you work with a company or an agency or a freelancer who you know could benefit from this community and the mastermind, and whether, I mean, we can offer three things. We got the course, with the coaching and things like this, we've got this experience with more of a done with you. We could do coaching. So some of our people here actually do monthly coaching calls where I'll jump on a call and we'll actually walk through some things more personalized fashion, keep you accountable that way. And then the top level thing is something I've been toying a little bit more, is actually building out your marketing for freelancers and agencies, using the marketing machine and my expertise and knowledge and experience with automated marketing funnels and things like that. So still working those things out. So if you know somebody, let them know about us. Freelancingfreedom.com. Just send them there and let them know. Jump on a call with Brad and see if it's a good fit. And if you do refer somebody and they results in a sale, then I'll give you a referral bonus. Cash. Okay. Yeah, and that's it. We'll be here next Thursday, unless I am away. Just going to double check for you. I am here next Thursday. Perfect. So we're good to go. So we'll be doing this call again next week. Yeah, I really appreciate your time. Glad to have you here. Thank you so much. And I will catch you next week. Share your thoughts and your questions and all the stuff in the mastermind. We're making sure to monitor that. We're going to get you week over week, seeing results in your business. All right. You show up, I'll show up too. Cheers. Catch you next time.